This video is something that you're not ready for. Phones are getting better every year, but just how many of you remember what the first smartphones looked and worked like? We bought the first ever released Samsung Galaxy S to see just how much technology has evolved over the times and how it looks compared to the latest flagship of Samsung, the Galaxy S22 Ultra. While this will mainly be a camera comparison as usual, we're also going to check out the first Galaxy S in detail to see where it stands amongst other phones today. Let's get right into it and let the facts speak. I've gotta be honest, the photos actually amaze me because this device was released in 2010. That means it has been 12 years since it came out, and I guess you can slowly start to see how big this phone was when it first hit the market. That being said, I don't want to hype up the Galaxy S too much, as there are pretty obvious differences in quality when you pay attention to the details, but at first glance, the Galaxy S doesn't look terribly bad compared to the newest flagship, even with this 5-megapixel single rear camera, which was honestly my expectation. When picking the photos apart, the first thing that I personally notice is a lack of sharpness and contrast, and the main reason for this is the software of those times not being as advanced as it is now. Also, phone cameras back then were made with DSLR cameras in mind, which kept the scene as natural as it is. And naturally, it will make me happy if you sub to the channel and like this video if you're enjoying yourself. While wondering if the Galaxy S had a portrait mode so we could compare it to the S22 Ultra, I found something called Portrait in the Scene settings. In the description, it says, takes picture of person, which actually gave me a laugh. And no surprises here, it doesn't work like a normal portrait mode. The Galaxy S has like 15 different scene choices to make your photos better depending on the environment, but it's more of a gimmick than anything else. Still, I respect their effort. Let's see if I think the same when we check out the digital zoom on this firstborn. As I said, single rear camera, so no ultra wide on this beast. It can do 4x digital zoom, and looking at this footage kinda gave me flashbacks to when optical zooms on phones didn't exist, because my friends and I basically never used the zoom feature on our phones. Ever. And here, you can see why. 100x cropped in makes me look like Joker in a Batman video game from 1998. So guys, as you know, in this comparison, we're gonna be looking at the Samsung devices. And over here we have the latest Samsung phone, Galaxy S22 Ultra. And on this side is the first ever released Galaxy S phone. So, tell us what you think about the audio quality and which one is better. I asked you which one is better, but I guess unless you prefer the sound quality of a walkie-talkie over the S22 Ultra, you're gonna pick the S22 Ultra. Still, much respect to Samsung for trying to implement some level of noise cancelling on the Galaxy S, even though it didn't work out the best way. I guess we can add video to the list that didn't work out well, or can we? See, the thing is, this is 720p. You're probably watching it on your 1080, 2K, or maybe 4K screen. Phone viewers will get what I mean. The resolution of the Galaxy S was only 480 by 800, so for its time, this quality was actually decent because you would never upload stuff to your PC. Phone videos and photos remained as phone videos and photos most of the time. To give you an even better understanding, this is an 8K video of the Galaxy S22 Ultra. This is 4K. Even smaller, this is 1080p, and the last one is 720p, the footage from the Galaxy S. On a small screen, it looks pretty good. However, on a larger screen, the battle of the pixels is underway. Not like the Google Pixel though. No? Okay. Meanwhile, I'm very sorry to let you know that we've arrived at the front camera. While I legitimately think that the rear camera was superb for 2010 standards, and even not bad as expected for today's standards, selfie cameras aren't viewed as extremely important even in 2022, so it won't be a surprise to see the huge difference between the two devices. It's nice that they even included a selfie camera in the first place, but to be honest, there's no way I would be using this VGA camera even back in 2010, which is funny because macro didn't even exist in 2010, but for some reason, this phone can get so close to objects while retaining focus, they might have invented a trend without even realizing it. This phone takes great close-up shots, and the praise should be given where it's due. With stabilization though, there's a big oof with a lack of proper electronic image stabilization. I feel dizzy just watching this, like someone chucked the phone in a blender and carried it around while filming me walking down a street. I'm trying to remember instances where I shot video with my older phones, and the majority of them had me holding them still, and this is the reason why. Anyway, time for some night footage with a device that doesn't even have night mode. It has a scene called Night, just like it had a scene called Portrait, so let's not depend too much on it. My biggest surprise is that you can actually see something on the Galaxy S, since night footage was a definite no-no on devices back then. The photos are obviously not usable, but at least you can tell what's going on and kinda what I'm wearing, which is a slight plus. The selfie camera is just as expected, and I hope nobody tried to take a video with this phone at night back in 2010. Even the Galaxy S22 Ultra doesn't look too good in this circumstance, so there's obviously no way the first Galaxy will be able to produce something good enough at night. So you know how flagship phones are extremely fast because they have very powerful chipsets. I want to see how long it takes for the Galaxy S to turn on. So we're just going to be comparing it to the S22 Ultra, and I want to turn them on at the exact same time just so that it's not unfair in any way. And here we go. So the S22 Ultra, from what I remember, it takes like 15 seconds or something, but that's the maximum. And it should take a lot longer on the Galaxy S. Oh, we got the music coming in. Oh, the screen's actually changing way faster, so it would be a huge surprise if it just turned on suddenly. Though I'm thinking, there's not many apps. Oh, there we go, there. Wow, okay, so it basically just turned on at the same time, which was quite surprising. So we tested the apps on the Galaxy S to see if they still work, and if they do, how they function. Obviously, this phone hosts a very outdated version of Android and hasn't received updates in a long time. I'm curious to see the results. So YouTube seems to be giving an error. Even though the Wi-Fi is on, it says something about a network connection. We can't update it either because the Play Store is unlikely to be able to do this, so tough luck. The Play Store says my background data is disabled, and when you enable it, now it wants an account and it doesn't allow me to log in. So unfortunately, my Google account is out of the question, which leaves apps unable to be updated. Google Maps looks like the only thing that works, which is quite insane. It's actually a really useful app, and you can search for somewhere on the Galaxy S and it finds it for you in like 2 seconds. You can even find the directions for that place and it gives you all the information like the distance and the time accurately. Nice job, Galaxy S. Lastly, how about the phone app? Look at these numbers, they're huge and cover up more than half the screen. When you compare it to the S22 Ultra, it's really big on this as well, but it does look a lot more polished and new with the screen being pretty big and easy to navigate. So lastly, I've gathered some information on top of this about the phone just for you. We'll also talk about the S22 Ultra to show what exactly the improvements are. The Galaxy S was released on June 2010, while the S22 Ultra was released on February 2022. It is protected by the first generation of Gorilla Glass by Corning, which has been improved all the way to a Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. The phone is fully plastic, leaving it open for a lot of fingerprints, with the S22 Ultra having a glass front and a matte glass back which doesn't pick up any fingerprints whatsoever. The Galaxy S has Samsung's signature Super AMOLED display at 4 inches, 480 by 800, 5:3 ratio with 233 ppi, while the S22 Ultra has a dynamic AMOLED 2X, 120Hz, HDR10 Plus display that peaks at 1750 nits. The size is 6.8 inches with a 1440 by 3088 resolution at a huge 500 ppi, and to me, this technology is one of the main and most important improvements. The Galaxy S has a Hummingbird chipset, which you might be surprised as to what it is. It later evolved to Exynos as we know it, with the flagship having an Exynos 2200 chip. The main camera is 5 megapixels and the selfie camera is a VGA, which is around 0.3 megapixels, something the younger generation probably doesn't know what it is, while the S22 Ultra sports a 108 megapixel main, two 10 megapixel optical zooms, one at 3 and the other at 10x, and 12 megapixel ultra wide cam, and the technological improvements in the camera category are obviously my favorite. Lastly, it is a 1500 mAh lithium ion battery, which for context is about 1/3 of current day flagships, as the newest Samsung one has a 5000 mAh battery. Oh, and by the way, if for some reason you want to buy this phone, we actually found it on eBay for only 10 euros. What a bargain. Once again, many thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of me talking about mobile phones. See you soon.